Hey guys, David G. Burns here, and I suppose I haven't actually done a video in a while. There's been a lot going on. I moved house, I've moved jobs, and this is over the last 6 months I've everything has been totally up in the air. So the only things I've been uploading are animations that I was really intensely working on, or something I might have done as a commission, but I've not done any of those little small things that I used to do. I haven't done any of the travel guides in about 7 months or something, I don't know. But I am working on another travel guides, don't worry about that. The thing is, with my animations and my channel, just quick update I suppose, I want to make everything just a little bit more polished. I don't want to rush anything, because before what I was doing is I was making a travel guide every month, and that would end up rushing it, and then little things about it I didn't particularly like, and I go back and I watch some of them and I think that they feel a bit sloppy. So what I want to do is I want to push all my time into creating the animations the best that I can, and sometimes that means that I have to put them down and come back to them a bit later. So I hope you guys don't mind, and I hope you don't unsubscribe or anything. If you do, that's your prerogative, but for you, those of you who stay, thank you first, and I suppose second of all, I'm going to try and do more kind of these podcasty things where I just, where I just talk and you can see me draw. I actually have done a lot of art over the last 6 or 7 months, which I've recorded most of me drawing it, so I've got a backlog of stuff that I can make into speed art. So I know it wasn't necessarily, this isn't my content that gets the most views, but it's definitely the stuff that I can actually make whilst I'm doing the more interesting stuff for you guys to look at. Anyway, that's me, and that's my life, and I suppose I should talk about a topic. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is the things that have gone on in the video game world, because obviously I love video games. The Pokemon has obviously been a big influence on my channel, but E3 obviously happened about a week ago, 2, 3. It happened a while back now, and I'm not going to go and do an in-depth review on it. I just want to, because what happens with me is I don't tend to watch E3. I don't tend to watch a lot of the kind of big press conferences. I don't tend to watch a lot of the big press conferences because, well, first of all, I am, a massive contender of jumping on a hype train, and I will get hyped and I will get disappointed. So what I tend to do is I will let the news come to me. So if anything is really, really exciting, it will come through Twitter, or my friends will talk to me about it, or I'll see it on Facebook, or you go on YouTube and you see people talking about stuff. So when a new Nintendo product comes out, if it's really good and really exciting, people start talking about it, and that's how I hear about it. I've got one really good friend, his name's Will, and if I go out for a meal with him about once a month, we do a Chinese buffet. We're trying every Chinese buffet in London, actually. We've done a lot, so if you ever need to know which is a good Chinese buffet, I can tell you which ones not to go to. I mean, that's probably a story for another occasion. But yeah, so Will tell me all the kind of technical stuff that comes out. He gets really excited about the hardware and more of the spec side of things, which isn't necessarily what I'm into, but it's good to know, because what he tends to do is condenses it, and it's all very distilled. I'm not watching like a 40 minute to an hour kind of conference where someone's talking about a whole bunch of stuff that I don't understand or don't really get. And also, Will's good if I can talk to him, because I will ask him questions about what he's talking about, and then I'll get feedback, and he will tell me what he actually means by half the stuff. Because I'll be honest, I know a lot of people understand that stuff, but a lot of it goes right over my head, because I'm more kind of into the software side of things than the hardware side of stuff. Anyway, so yeah, E3. What exciting stuff comes out? What exciting video games are on the horizon? Well, I'll tell you what. The games that I've heard about are the big ones, like Mario Odyssey, which doesn't really do anything for me. But it wasn't until I flipped open my 3DS and I went on the eStore and I looked at all the new demos that I saw a couple of games which actually looked terrible to begin with, but I started playing them and I actually really enjoyed them. I started playing the Miitopia demo, and at first I was like, this is just going to be like that free Miiverse game where you get the Street Pass hits and, you know, it plays itself, and to some extent it does play itself a little bit, but it's got so much personality. I mean, Nintendo always has a lot of personality in their games, and I don't know what it was about it. I just found it really funny. I think it helped that if you don't know the concept of the game, what happens is you choose some of your Wii Miis, you give them a class like in an RPG, and you give them a personality, and then they interact with each other as they walk through a world, and then you have a turn-based battle, and then you level up, and each of the relationships of the different characters who join your party over time will progress, and the ones who are better friends with each other have special skills, in so on and so forth. A bit like with Xenoblade Chronicles, where, you know, if your characters get really, they get to know each other really well, they have more slots to put different skills in. Anyway, I digress. What happened with me is my story. I played, obviously, the main character is me. I decided mage because I prefer magic wielding characters. It just, when I'm in an RPG, that's my sort of character. That or a tank. It's kind of different ends of the spectrum, I know, but whatever. So I started playing as David the Mage, and then someone else joined the party, asked me who to choose. I chose a Wii Mii that I made that looked like Jesus, and Jesus, obviously Mage would have been brilliant for him, but luckily there's also another class you can choose, which is Cleric. So he became Cleric, and I chose for him to be a friendly person. So David and Jesus became fast friends, and then as we progressed, we played someone else joined our party, and I just happened to have a Wii Mii that looked like Katy Perry from when I was playing Tomodachi Life, which was a disappointing game by comparison, but that's a story for another time again. So yeah, and one of the classes you can pick, so there's things like Warrior, Mage, Cleric, Rogue, Thief, and then there was another one called Popstar. So obviously I'm going to make Katy Perry a Popstar, and I made her like an airhead. And each time you finish a level, your characters stay in an inn, and me and Jesus stayed in the same room all the time because you could only have 2 people in a room. And Katy Perry was always in a third room all on her own, and I don't know. When you play it, you know that kind of the Wii Mii kind of Miiverse humour that comes along with things like Tomodachi Life. It has a lot of that, but also an element of gameplay. The thing with Tomodachi Life is it was all, oh look at this funny thing happening. Yeah, it was really funny, but you couldn't do much to influence the game. Whereas in Miitopia, you can choose your weapon, you can choose the class, and funny things happen, but you also take an active role in the battles, and so on and so forth. So it's just, I think if you like things like Tomodachi Life, if you like the personality of Tomodachi Life, but you prefer something that gets you a bit more involved, then you'll like Miitopia, which is kind of the middle ground between those two things. So yeah, that was the first game that got me a little bit kind of excited. I'm trying to think of other games. I'm really excited to try another Metroid game. I love the Metroid Prime series, so it'd be great to see something in nice actual HD on the Switch. And of course, we've got Splatoon 2 coming out this month. I'm really just excited about all the Nintendo games. I think because as I said, I don't really watch E3. I kind of just let it come to me. I think Nintendo, for want of a better word, has like won E3 this year, because I haven't really heard anything about what's coming out of Microsoft or what's coming out of Sony. But I might just have a biased audience, you know. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've just got a biased audience. But, you know, there's the other thing as well, which I didn't expect, but Pokemon Go has actually made a good resurgence in my life. I don't know if everyone else has started playing it more again. I've never really put it down. There have been months where I just didn't play for a bit because I got bored, or I got frustrated because I've got Pokemon Go Plus, and when I moved house I lost my Pokemon Go Plus peripheral, and it was like going from playing a free-to-play game where you were paying to going back to a free user. It's because that is quite literally what it was. So instead of being able to catch every Pokemon, even when I had my phone shut, I went to only being able to catch them when I got it open, and I couldn't even catch them all. So being on the train, I can't catch them as I'm going past, can't spin all the Pokestops, and it made my progression through the levels a lot slower, and thus it became a bit more tedious. But now I've got another one, so I've already spent like 60 quid on Pokemon Go, which is not something I should really be broadcasting to the world. They've done the recent update where they've revamped all the gyms, and they have obviously there's Gen 2 in there now, and they've done a couple of other things. They've added in they've added in the raid system, which is, in my opinion, a little bit broken at the moment, but you know, it's early days. that's what we always say about Pokemon Go. But the new gym system, if people have been put off playing because they can't get into gyms, or they feel that the game's gotten to kind of a cap for them, I would honestly consider going back to it, because now the gyms, first of all, there's I think 3 times as many gyms. Even in my local area there was 2 gyms. Now from my bedroom I can see about 6, maybe 7. So they've made a whole load of Pokestops gyms, and then in those gyms, if you put a Pokemon there and it's there for a certain amount of time, you start getting coins, rather than you get 1 coin per gym you're in. So whereas where I used to live, I would run up the road in the morning doing a jog, take over the 2 gyms, get the 2 coins. By the end of the day I'd be out of the gym, so I'd be getting 2 coins a day. Now I'm in 7 or 8 gyms, well, not only just because I'm in a more highly gym populated area, but because there's more gyms, and they're easier to get into because people are putting more Pokemon into more gyms, meaning they have less good ones, so they're spreading them out. But you can be in more gyms, but I often will get about 50 coins a day, because someone will leave my, there's a because someone won't knock your Pokemon out for quite a while. Where I work at my desk, I actually sit on top of a gym, and we've actually come to a bit of a silent agreement. Team Mystic, which is me, and I can't even remember the other names of the teams because they're irrelevant, because they're wrong. But the red team constantly take over my gym. But I got in on Thursday morning. They'd taken over the gym, but they'd only taken it over half an hour before I got there. I waited 8 hours, which is when the cap is for the amount of coins you could get, and then I took the gym back. And they didn't take the gym back off me until another 8 hours later. I mean, I'd already gone home by that point, but still, I think we've got a bit of a silent agreement now, because it's been on off, instead of how it was straight away when they implemented the change originally. I took over the gym in the morning, and then about an hour later they took it back, and then I took it back another 10 minutes later, and none of us were getting any coins. But now I think we've actually reached a silent agreement, so it's quite nice that we've done that. The only thing that I think would really enhance Pokemon Go would be if there's some sort of global chat feature where we could actually talk to each other and go, look, you keep the gym for a bit, I'll take it later. I know some people say it's not in the spirit of the game, but personally I think that that's part of the point of the game. You're meant to talk to people, and it's all about community play. It does feel a little bit like it punishes the solo player now, because to take down a whole gym on your own can take quite a while, and some of the raid battles are far too overpowered for one person to play. But in general, it's a pretty fun new update. It's got me back playing, and I've leveled up about 3 levels. I think I'm like level 31 now in the last month, if that. No, how long's the update? It must be about 2-3 weeks. Yeah. So yeah, that's the end of that. I've done another little podcasty thing. I'll try and keep on top of these, and I'll try and do a few more, keep the content coming. And just because I like showing you guys my artwork, this stuff takes hours and hours and hours, yet I'm speeding it up to be more like 16, 17 minutes, if that. This video is probably only going to be about 10. But cool, just go out, enjoy the sun if it's sunny near you, enjoy the rain if it's raining by you, enjoy life, and I hope to speak to you soon. Speak to you later. Bye.